welcome to the Nurse's Heartbeat. My name is Philip. In this episode, we are looking at the NCLEX materials that you can use in your NCLEX exams preparation. For people that want to take the NCLEX exams, there are a lot of resources that are available. There are too many to the extent that sometimes they get confusing which one is the right one to use. And that is why I want to do this video to recommend some of the materials that are very helpful, that are tried and tested that will help you to go through your NCLEX journey successfully. Right, let's dive. Yeah, so as I said, what are some of the resources or the materials that you need to successfully go through your NCLEX exams and to come out with flying colors? Now, to choose the right resources or the right materials, we want to make sure that the materials have NCLEX style questions. So we want to have a material that at the end of the day will give us some questions that are kind of NCLEX style that we'll be able to use to prepare adequately for the exams. We don't want to have materials that are too simple or too overwhelming, too much difficult. We want NCLEX standard material to go through that process. We also want to have material that gives you the why and the how, the materials that will enable you to understand the rationale behind whatever is going on. If any answer is taken, why is that answer the right answer? So you need a material that will be able to explain the rationale to you, that you understand better. What we also want to look at is to build a real-world clinical judgment. So the NCLEX is not an examination tick box, but it really helps in clinical judgment. You realize that it's very useful to apply in your clinical settings. So we need a material that will give us that clinical world environment feel, all right, that is will help us. And then that is what the NCLEX also expects, and that is how they set the questions around. And we also need material that will keep us consistent and confident. So these are the reasons why we need a very good material for our NCLEX exams. There are a lot of question banks that are used when preparing for the NCLEX exams. You cannot escape the question banks. So we have a couple of question banks. I am going to give them to you. You may know some of them, but the reason for using which question bank, what merits have they got, I'm going to give to you. So the first material or the question bank I will recommend for you to use is the UWorld. All right, so UWorld is mostly recommended by a lot of people. I have personally used the UWorld before. It is a very good question bank. It gives you NCLEX feel of the exams, all right, and then it gives you the questions and the rationales that you need to go through. It is very, very good one. So it has detailed rationales and performance tracking. So you are also able to track your performance when using the UWorld. So it is very good one to use. And it has a lot of questions that you can practice as well. The second question bank that I will also recommend is the Archer review. It is also very good one. I used Archer review at some point as well. So these two, they are tried and tested question bank. The Archer review is budget friendly. It is not that very expensive when you want to subscribe it. And then it has a great practicing questions volume. So you'll be able to have a lot of questions to practice with. And then it also explains in detail the rationale for your answer. So if you have your answer correct or wrong, it gives you the rationale why they are wrong and why a specific answer is the correct answer. It helps you to understand better. It informs your clinical judgment, and it helps you to really understand what you are in for. Okay, so these are very important books, question banks that I'll recommend. There is another one for higher learning tech. This one I have not used it personally, but it is a good source that is also recommended. That is the NCLEX RN Mastery. And this is also good mobile app on the go, so you can use it. It's more like a mobile app, and then flashcards, mnemonics, and rationales. It will give them to you. That is how it also works as well. And then what we want you to skip, anything that just gives you answers without explanations. There are question banks that are focused on you memorizing it, getting familiar with the questions. That is not how NCLEX is done. So we don't want you to just memorize, just get to know some questions without really giving you the explanation, especially when you get them wrong. We don't have the rationale behind the answers and that question bank. We want you to skip that because it's not really going to help you. The NCLEX is structured in such a way that you can have a very similar questions, but they will twist the wording of the question in a bit. So if you don't understand fully, if you don't understand the rationale behind it, then you are not really going to be able to do it. All right. So let's say they want to ask you a question about shock. Okay. You need to understand the shock and the physiology behind shock, because they may ask you a question that patient is going through shock, but all the parameters they will give you will be normal. But let's say patient oxygen is 86%. Then you realize that in that instance, your focus is going to be getting oxygen for the patient. Okay. Yeah. And in the same, you may meet a similar question that it is the same shock question, but let's say oxygen is fine, all the other parameters are fine, but patient blood pressure is maybe 80/40. All right. So understanding the question will be able to help you to know the answer, the right answer at any point in time. But when you just memorize it, when they twist it in a bit, then you are going to find yourself wanting, and that is not what we want you to do. So we want you to skip any material that will just give you the answers without any rationale. They are just waste of time, and they are not going to really help you that much. So that is what we want you to do. And then we also have people that really like visual learning. They want to watch videos to help them to also learn better. And there are a lot of materials that can help that we want to recommend to you. I use some of those materials that are also very helpful as well that you can use. And the first material I will recommend is Simple Nursing. Simple Nursing by Nurse Mike is a very useful resource that I used so many times when I was preparing for my NCLEX exams. It gives you the visuals. Nurse Mike will explain to you in detail what you need about the topic and the NCLEX type question that can be asked for that topic. It will give to you and you really understand. So check Simple Nursing. It is very good source that gives you the visuals that you need. And you just don't watch the videos. You need to pause from time to time and make notes. All right. Very, very important. Or take screenshots of the video where points have been listed and you think you need them. Don't just watch them for watching sake. make notes, take screenshots, any way that will be able to help you to retain the information you need to do it. So simple nursing is a very good visual or video learning for the NCLEX process that we recommend to you. And then it is great for pharmacology, medical, surgical, and then for quick refreshers. So you might, if you have completed school, you are a fresh or a new graduate and you just want to refresh your minds, it helps you. If you are experienced nurse working for so many years, you want to refresh your mind on some of the topics, it is also very helpful and useful for you as well. So that is one of the YouTube sites that I recommend to you to watch for NCLEX questions that are very helpful for the NCLEX exams. And then there is another YouTube channel called the Registered Nurse RN. Registered Nurse RN is also very useful YouTube channel that also helps, and I also use it a couple of times, and it's really helpful. Okay, so it covers a lot of questions and it is completely free. Okay, so you watch it, you'll be able to get so many materials, so many topics that you want, and it is very helpful. And then another one I will recommend is McClemick Lectures, popularly known as McKay. So McClemick has the videos and the audios lessons that are very helpful. I used McClemick a couple of times as well. So topics that are very challenging. During my period, I had a couple of topics that he just made them so simple and understanding. So I still remember my acid and bases, where we have your metabolic alkalosis, acidosis, respiratory acidosis. McKay had an audio lecture on it that I listened to it a couple of times and really gave me the basic understanding of that. And from that time, there was no way I will miss a question when it comes to acidosis and alkalosis. And he has a lot of lectures done on so many topics that are very important and very helpful when you are preparing for your NCLEX exams. So I will recommend McClemick lectures to you as well. So it has the legacy and the next generation versions that you can use to help you. And it has simple explanations that stick. All right. So great for test strategy. It will help you to get the strategies that you need in the test exams. And it is very useful for that. Okay, so pro tip is that to watch videos actively and then pause and take notes when needed. All right. So don't just watch and let it finish in 10, 15 minutes. You have watched that video. No, we want you to take notes when you feel there is an information that you need to take note, or you need to just get yourself thinking about, take notes. Or as I said, in my personal perspective, I used to take note or take screenshots of that session, and I could check my phone on the screenshot for some of these things, and they were very helpful as well. Okay. And then there are some books that are worth owning. You need them to also help you. That I'm just quickly going to recommend some of these books for you. The first one I will mention is the Saunders NCLEX RN Review Guide. So the Saunders is a very great book that is so helpful that you can use in your NCLEX preparation. So it has all-in-one content book with practice questions. So when you are using the Saunders, you have the books, almost all the topics you will find in medical, nursing, psychiatry, obs and gynae, pediatrics, almost everything. It covers them. It's all in one book. And then at the end of the content review, it gives you questions to also go through as well. So it is very good book. And then it's excellent if you need to refresh your mind on the nursing material. So maybe you have been off the classroom for quite a long time. You want to refresh your mind on the basis and the theories and the physiologies and all of that to help you get a new skills to be able to navigate your way through the exams. Then Sundays is a sure way for you. It's very, very useful book that I recommend for you. And then they also have another one, the NCLEX Iron Exam Cram. It's focused and concise as well, and then you're good for last minute review. All right, so you can use it when you are last minute, you want to review some things, then you can use the exam cram as well. And then has practice questions and quick tips. So these are books that I will recommend to you. Now, avoid overly dense textbooks with no questions or rationales. So you could have some textbooks, it is so complicated, so dense. At the end of the day, when you read, there will be no rationales, there will be no NCLEX type questions for you, and everything has just jammed up. You don't know what to do about it. We really don't recommend that. Okay, get something that is simple and straightforward and gives you the rationale that you need as well. And then there are some mobile apps that we can also recommend that you can use in your preparation. So we have the nursing.com. It's good. It has full NCLEX preparation videos, questions, and other stuff that you can use to help you in the preparation. And then we have the Picmonic. Picmonic is also having visual mnemonics that will help you to get some stuff within acronyms and how to get things. It really makes things quite simple as well that you can use. All right, so these are very good things. Now let me quickly come to things that you should skip. I have already mentioned some of them. Let me just summarize things that you should skip when you are preparing for the NCLEX exam. One of the things you should skip is random YouTube NCLEX hacks with no evidence. Okay, so there are so many materials that you could find around, and then to give you hacks how to do it, tips, and there are no evidence to them. All right, you need to have a source that is very reliable. And then social media posts with memorize this one list. Okay, sometimes people will post, you need to memorize this once you want to pass the NCLEX. As I said, from my personal experience, the NCLEX is a clinical based question. It tests the safety of the practice, safety of care. So it is not about memorizing. Even before I wrote my NCLEX exams, after learning and going through the NCLEX questions, it broadened my understanding. When I go to the ward and I am working, you could see a lot of things that you can apply to help you. So NCLEX is something that you need for your daily work. It is not just memorizing to write exams, okay? And that is why we tell you that when you see things, memorize these hacks and you pass the NCLEX. We don't recommend it. All right. And then apps that give you answers with no rationale. There are some NCLEX questions that I see that I don't even tempt them. Questions that will give you the answer but will not give you the rationale. All right. There are apps that are available. It will give you the question, to give you the answer. You don't understand why that answer is the correct one. They are not very helpful. You need to get something that will give you all the rationale behind whatever answer is right. And then Overloading with too many resources, it is also something that you have to stop doing. You need to stick to 2 or 3 books for your preparation. If you want to connect to all the resources available in this world, they are rather going to confuse you. They will not help you to prepare adequately for the NCLEX exams. So you need to, if you are using the Sundays, have your Sundays, have one question bank. Many people ask about the Archer and the U world, which is better and all of that. This video, I will tell you that they are all good resources, okay, that you can use. So stick to, whether you are using your Archer or your U word, stick to it, and then have your Sundays. If you want to do your refreshing, if you want to do your content review, Sundays is going to help you get your simple nursing, your registered nurse RN for YouTube videos to also support you with the visuals and all of that. Just simple, about 2, 3 resources are going to help you to get all that you need for the NCLEX exams. Don't chase after all the books and all the apps and all the resources that are available, because when there are too many, they are going to confuse you. And many people will also try to give you different rationales. Okay, so if you are using so much different sources, then it can even confuse you at a point. Okay, so stick to a few of them, as I have mentioned in this video, reliable sources that you can use, and they are going to help you very well. So in conclusion, these are the materials that you need to help you going in your NCLEX exams. They are very useful materials. They are tried and tested. We have used them ourselves and we have passed the NCLEX. All right, so I will encourage you that try working on these materials, try learning, and then you'll be able to also excel in your NCLEX exams. If you have any questions, you can send in the comment, or you can email me personally at thenurse'sheartbeat@gmail.com. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, I want you to subscribe. I want you to share. I want you to like it, okay? You can leave a review or a comment. Thank you so much. I will meet you in the next episode. You have got all the materials that you need, all the skills that you need to pass your NCLEX. You are only one step away from passing your NCLEX. See you in the next episode. Bye.